Welcome to Facebook Q&A. I am your host Robert Reynolds. I'm gonna let people pop on, but if you don't know already, ESPN metrics apparently has Georgia going 9-3. So while I wait for people to pop on, I'm gonna sit here and try to determine who these three losses are gonna be to. So we'll see what happens here. I'm like I said, I'm waiting for people to pop on. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on, you know, how they feel about obviously Georgia saying they're 9-3 according to these metrics. And if people want to say who they think will lose to, I'll hear that too. But to start, I think if you look at in my opinion, really the only true loss that I think we have a very possible chance of losing is September 4th, and that's Clemson. That's just how I feel about it. I could see Clemson beating us. However, I could see it going either way. I think Georgia can pull it off. We'll see what happens. But you start to try to decipher the other two. Are they talking SEC championship, or are they talking, playoffs? How are they including that? Are they including regular season? What's the case, right? I think you have to look at that. But I think, there's several different options if that's the case. If they're including all games and playoffs, then obviously there might be that possibility for 9-3. But I don't think so. I think it's regular season. We have a 12-game regular season, so that makes sense, right? So, with that being said, looking at the schedule, here's how I think this plays out. I think ESPN has us losing to Clemson, and I think they have us losing to Florida, and I don't even know if it's Arkansas or Auburn. I genuinely don't know, because outside of Clemson and Florida, really, who are the threats? Like, I'm not knocking Arkansas, I'm not knocking Kentucky or Missouri. I think all of those teams could be the third team that they're talking about. However, this right here is first. I don't see us losing to Florida this year. I just don't. Unless you see a fucking freak injury before the game, I just don't see us losing. They've lost too much on offense, but ESPN, they love them some Florida. Just like for the last 3 or 4 fucking years before this past year. Oh, this is the year Florida will beat Georgia. And for 3 years, Kirby, shut them the fuck up. Last year, they were right. Do we really think Florida's going to do the unthinkable and beat Georgia again? No. I genuinely don't believe so. I don't think Georgia has a quarterback on the roster right now that can go into Jacksonville and beat Georgia's defense. I just don't see it. Who does Florida have that returned any production on offense? Jacob Copeland? That's all. That's the only name I really know right now outside of Emory Jones. And, sure, you've got DeMarcus Bowman, the transfer from Clemson. What else? Quarterback's got to get the ball. You got to beat Georgia in the passing game. And I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think that's going to happen at all. But I will say this: the Clemson game, I have to respect that. Obviously, I was on talking with a guy named Aaron from Fifth Quarter Clemson yesterday on the show, and I think we're both in agreement. This game could literally go either way. It just could. We'll see. But it literally could go either way there. But yeah. So looking at that right there, it's going to be interesting to see. Right? I don't see Auburn. I don't see anybody in the SEC East. If Florida can't do it, I don't think Missouri will do it. I don't think Kentucky, even though Kentucky plays us hard, don't see it happening. I'm not seeing comments right now, so I'm actually looking through the actual computer as well So I'm going to read a couple comments here. Chad had mentioned 9-3 is a regular season only, so there we go. I guess that's more confirmation. He also thinks Georgia will go 11-1. That's my thought exactly. This is why people play the game and don't look to numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I do it for a living. Numbers don't mean shit except when it looks good on paper. That's all it's good for. You play the game every week. Shit happens, right? South Carolina wasn't supposed to beat us 2 years ago, but guess what they did? See? That's why you play the game. Go Dogs, Chad. Go Dogs. Absolutely. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. So, if anybody listens to my show, obviously I will post this on YouTube, but if you listen to my show, I try to keep it as kid-friendly as I can. There are occasional slip-ups. Here, it's not necessarily the case. So it's like, I don't know if it's a Jekyll and Hyde type thing, but nonetheless, I tell you how I feel as a Georgia fan. A pure, honest Georgia fan. So, keep that in mind, folks. Keep that in mind. Auburn on the Plains will be tough. Kentucky could be tough, and Arkansas. Yeah, Sam Pittman's got that team looking good. All right, and I'd called this before last season. If he won 3 games, then that's already exceeding expectations. And if I'm not mistaken, he won 5, maybe. I think he won 5, or I don't remember. He didn't do bad. Let's just say that. So Sam Pittman did very good. I gotta pull this up, guys. I have to pull this up. But and looking at it, Kentucky, Kentucky always plays this hard. All right, let's put it that way. I'm not gonna discredit Kentucky. They have a very good, sound defense. There's no question about it. The talent gap is what really keeps us apart and from winning. So keep that in mind. That's just the way I see it. And let's see, Arkansas, they were 6 in the West standings. They were 3-7. Yeah, so if they won 3 games, there you go. So they actually didn't. Mississippi State finished last. Okay, there we go. Though, Chad, to your point though, with Auburn on the Plains, I look at it this way. For the last year or two, Bo Nix has not been the answer. Even with Gus there. Maybe, these guys could be buying into Harsin and what he's preaching and stuff like that. But it's basically a rebuild. I'm not saying they can't beat us. I just don't know. I just don't see it. Even on the road. I just don't see that. But, Arkansas is going to play us tough. I get it. Sam Pittman, everybody thought it was a, wild situation. But Arkansas really played good defense. They're just not there in regards to talent. Pittman knows what he's doing, and the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator hires that he made, brilliant. So you keep those guys around and get these guys into the system. Arkansas, watch out for Arkansas. I genuinely think they're not going to finish toward the bottom. I think they might move up to 5th. You look at, obviously I think you have Bama, you have LSU, or A&M. I think A&M and then LSU probably. We'll see what happens with LSU. With their returning Keyshawn Butte, their secondary is great. Both corners look really good. Miles Brennan should be coming back healthy. So we'll see what happens there. But obviously you've got Texas A&M, LSU, Bama at the top. Then you look at Auburn. Then you got Ole Miss. But Ole Miss could be sleeper in the West. Ole Miss played really well. I just got to see how their defense turns out. So we'll see what happens there. But if I just kind of really question those metrics. I understand what metrics are for, and I understand why they're there, but I just don't agree with them this moment. I understand it. It's okay. Georgia's hyped up right now. Looking at what we're bringing back and what the expectations are, I get it. But I just believe that we're not going to lose 3 games in the regular season. Honestly, at most 2, but I genuinely think we go 11-1. And more than likely play Bama in the SEC championship game. That might be your second loss. We'll see. we at some point Georgia has to get over this Saban hump. At some point, we've been living this for years now. Georgia has to beat Saban. There's no question about it. Just get it done. And looking at this team right now, this is your best shot, in my opinion, as it stands now. This is the best shot to date, right? I think this team is loaded on offense. Obviously, we know how SEC, or actually the NCAA, has changed. It's a pass-happy league right now, the game. So right now is the best shot to do it. You've got a loaded running back room. You're deep on all aspects of your offense. It's just that you've got your quarterback. Everything is just fell in line for Georgia. And really, and I can understand this. People around the SEC are literally saying that it's now or never. Not saying that we can't do it in the future, but this is the most talented team in regards to offense that we've had in what feels like forever. So, more or less across the board, obviously we've had some talented running backs, but nonetheless, I genuinely think this has got to be the year that we get over that, get into the playoffs. If we don't get into the playoffs, there's a problem. There's something happened, or there's just a big problem. We got to figure the fuck out. That's just the way that's just the way that is. There's no reason why we shouldn't make it to the playoffs. And honestly, it starts with September 4th. If we win that game, I genuinely think you could play in the SEC championship and lose the SEC championship and still make it, depending on how you lose. But let's try to go perfect, right? Everybody wants to be perfect. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm sure everybody's tired of listening to metrics and how I feel. So who is ready for Saturday? I am absolutely pumped for Saturday. I am not going to be there, but I best believe my ass will be on the couch watching the G-Day game. Just going to say that there. So, I'm excited for it. I really want to see the offensive line and the secondary. I think, obviously, I want to see what we're looking like, along those fronts. And really, at the line, I want to see who our left tackle is going to be. I just don't feel comfortable that we have, a leader right now, like a true, stand-away leader. So it's going to be interesting to see who Kirby throws out Saturday, for the ones and stuff like that. Obviously, Kirby's more than likely going to sit there and throw this. Now, obviously, this could be an expectation, but let's just say that I would love to see this not happen. I'd love to see the exact opposite. Come out with this vanilla offense, things like that. But I don't think this is the time to go through vanilla offense. You didn't have an offseason last year. We didn't have a G-Day. We didn't have really any time to instill the offense, except for the 10 games that we played. Well, yeah, 10 games. We really just need to instill the offense. Let's get everybody in the system, understand the system, so that we can go out there on every given Saturday and just beat the shit out of people, right? That's what Georgia's expectations are this year, and it should happen that way. Looking at the grand scheme of things in the SEC, there's really the SEC right now in the East is kind of down. Tennessee's in shambles. South Carolina's in trouble, but it's going to be interesting to see how Beamer and company turns it around if they can. Then you look at Vanderbilt, trash. Kentucky and Missouri and Florida are going to be in the running for the second one. Depending on the situation, you could see Missouri step in, or you could see Kentucky maybe be at top 3. Florida, right? Florida might be third at the end of the season, depending on the situation. But I fully expect Georgia to be the SEC East champions. I just see that. There's too many things lining up for this that just kind of screams Georgia's to lose, right? So, Chad says he's definitely pumped for Saturday, and he thinks Truss will be the left tackle. I could see that, but, I think Broderick Jones has probably got the most talent there. It's just a matter of if he can put it together. So I think the good thing about it, though, Chad, is you're going to see a lot of competition, especially along the line. Because Matt Luke, you have the talent, right? We're super deep and around all these spots. You have to get these guys in the right positions. We had the situations last year. You had people in unnatural spots for them, right? They weren't in their best natural spot. So, we'll see what happens. But I think you've got so much talent now, you can move guys around back and put them in their best natural spot. You have to do that. So, I think you look at Matt Luke this year and you really have to put some magnifying glasses on, at least along the offensive line. There's so much talent there. These guys have got to develop and they've got to be ready to go. So, from there, just get the right 5 guys in there and get them a lot of reps because Clemson is coming, and that defensive line and the defensive front 7 are going to cause problems. Brent Venables' defenses are going to cause problems. Doesn't matter. And you got to remember they're returning most, if not all 11 starters, I think, on defense. They didn't miss a beat, right? They didn't lose a soul except for Kendrick, which is in the transfer portal right now. That's it. That's it. So their defensive front 7 is good to go. Miles Murphy, Brian Brzee. That's just a few, right? Those guys are ready to go. And they're going to cause problems. They're just going to cause problems. But at the end of the day, on the flip side, our secondary's got to be squared away, right? Yes, we brought in Tyke Smith, but, maybe that answers our star problem, all right? Maybe that solidifies the star position. But, you look at Keely Ringo. I think Keely Ringo is guaranteed to start at least. So that second cornerback position, you could look at Kimber. You can look at speed. What about Brini, right? Does Brini, how does he play in? Does he kind of do the backup star or what? We'll see. Obviously, I think you look at the safety. We're kind of set there with Lewisine, Chris Smith. Nyland Green sounds like he's been doing very well this offseason into the spring camp. And so is Kimber. So it'll be worth watching and see how these guys go. Obviously with, as deep receiving core I've seen in Georgia for a while now. So we'll see what happens. What is going on here? Oh, gotta love them. Gotta love these damn dogs. But yeah, no, so G-Day's going to be fun. I wish that we were able to be on ESPN, but Alabama gets the day. So go Bama on that one, right? But SEC Network Plus, 2 o'clock. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of drunk Georgia fans middle of the day. So we'll see what happens there. And, just be anticipated. I just hope we don't see a vanilla offense. I don't think we can afford that because we need to see what these guys are about. You can look at receiver depth. Let these guys open the playbook. But more than likely because it's televised, you'll probably see this vanilla type and go from there. But at the end of the day, we'll see. Still gonna fucking watch it. Just gonna watch it and see. I want to see what Kendall Milton does. I think Kendall's gonna have a blast. I'm gonna have a blast watching him. I think he's gonna make some waves at G-Day. At least from what it sounds like, spring camp so far, has been one of the better running backs on the roster. We knew that was coming, but and I think after G-Day, obviously with the facility opening up here soon after, that's going to be some big news right there too, because that's, if you think about it, that's just in time. That is just in time for the recruits to come in once the spring dead period opens up. So definitely looking forward to that first weekend. There's going to be so much to cover. I don't even know how to explain it. Obviously doing the podcast, I guarantee you I'll have to dedicate a whole episode, hell, I don't know how many minutes of an episode to this. I might just have to make a complete episode on just the recruiting opening up. Might have to do that. There's just so much going on. I could expect it to be one of the most hectic recruiting cycles that we've ever seen. If anybody did not listen, I highly suggest you go on and listen to yesterday's episode. Aaron said it best. Expect a lot of changes from in the recruiting classes right now. Right, there's a lot of guys that are committed that are more. I ain't gonna say more than likely, but there's a good chance that you're gonna see a lot of guys open their recruitment back up, take away the commitment, decommit, and open these things up and go to these schools. Right, take advantage of this. Obviously, Georgia fans are understanding of Clemson's rule that typically, once you commit, you don't go visit. With the dead period been going for over a year now, I expect that rule to kind of be broken for this year at least. Just on the fact alone that kids actually have a chance to go see schools in person and not over Zoom or anything like that. So there's going to be there's a lot of good things for Georgia purposes. There's so many good things here. Just in time facility opening up. That's the grand reveal. That first weekend, kids are going to be pumped as fuck to see that. And guess what? That right there, the arms race is just proving its point. The elite recruiting schools, they have the best facilities. They have the best football product. There you go. It all starts with recruiting. Chad thinks Chad going back to G-Day thinks that we're going to air it out. I would love to see that. But also we have to understand that, yes, it's a spring game, but we can't be necessarily overreactive, right? That's one of the things that I have to look into. Sometimes I get overreactive and, get super pissed off about something. That's something that obviously I'm going to have to work on, is just understand it's a spring game, and I just want to see, obviously because it's Georgia versus Georgia, I want to see solid play both sides of the ball. I want to see receivers make some good plays. I want to see, DBs get beat but be able to cover, right? Just receivers make good plays. But I want to see a couple picks. But I don't want to see too many. And I don't want to see, the rhythm being inconsistent and in a bad way, right? Being consistently bad. I think, it's going to be situational. There's going to be some situational things. It's just going to be fun to watch. There's going to be a lot to dissect come Monday. Right, there's gonna be a lot to dissect. Just for my purposes, talk about it Monday gives me a day to process what I saw, and if need be, go back and watch it, just to see just to kind of see what we didn't maybe see the first time, right? So basically Monday expected G-Day recap. That's just the way that's gonna be. And we'll go from there. But and also don't forget, actually on the Twitter account right now, doing a giveaway. So basically, there's a tweet that was posted out. All you really have to do is retweet it to be entered for it. So if you're not on Twitter, I highly suggest you do that. There's some good prizes there I think people might like to see. And the prizes are dictated off of your follower count, right, for the page. So, giving it a month, for instance, where I was currently was 55. So, obviously just starting off or whatever the case may be. So, if the follower count is, I don't know, if I'm able to skyrocket, or the numbers are skyrocketing, you could see 600, there's then you're at that point, you're in a chance to get a signed Gurley jersey, right? The prizes are listed based off of the follower count results at the end of that the month. So if you're on Twitter, wherever you're listening to this, go on to Twitter, twitter.com/DGDogcast, and follow, and obviously just kind of keep posted, retweet that tweet. Get it out, get your name entered in the chance to do the giveaway. Like I said, depending on the follower count at the end of the month, or at the end of a month, or 30 days, 31 days, whatever, you have a good chance to win something nice in regards to the giveaway. So, on that note, I am going to head off for the day. Everybody stay safe and tune in Friday, noon. I'll be going live with Traley, Dog Nation's second mama. So stay tuned to that. And on that note, guys, have a great day and go Dogs.